Hey guys, Halo Infinite's Infection mode released 2 weeks ago, and I've played my fair share of the mode since it released, so now is the perfect time to give you guys my review on Halo Infinite's Infection mode, telling you guys the good and also the bad, and what I think 343 can change to make it even better. Let me just start off by saying that I'm a massive fan of Infection. Since Halo 3, it's been my go-to mode for Halo, and that might be the same for a lot of you guys watching. What's really important to mention right off the bat is that Halo Infinite's Infection is more like Halo 5's and less like Halo 3's and Reach. Does this mean Halo Infinite's version of Infection is bad? Absolutely not. I've been having a great time playing the mode since it released in Season 4. Alongside BTB Heavies, it has got to be my favourite mode in the game. However, I do have some issues with it. But first, I want to tell you what I've really enjoyed with Halo Infinite's Infection mode. So right off the bat, it was very clear to see that 343 didn't half-ass this mode, as a lot of work went into the playlist to ensure it felt unique, and that included opening up areas in different maps, like Behemoth, Streets, Aquarius, and the addition of barricades is a nice touch, and it reminds me of the modified Infection maps on Halo Reach, and I really like how there are ammo crates scattered around the maps. It creates a risk-reward scenario where if a player ventures out too far to go get an ammo crate, a zombie could be there waiting for you. And that is a small thing, but I do like that part of the mode, where it definitely benefits you to scavenge around, but if you get too ambitious or go too far out, you'll most definitely encounter a zombie or two. The Quantum Translocator. The new piece of equipment is on every single beta zombie, and this is a big point of contention for a lot of Halo fans right now, and this may be a hot take, but I really do like the Quantum Translocator, and I love how the beta zombies can use it to get the jump on the humans. There's a bit of a skill gap involved with the Quantum Translocator, but if you pull it off just right, you can get the jump on a bunch of survivors and get a few kills. It never feels too overpowered for the zombies, and that brings me to my next point for Infection, and that is that it's actually fun to be a zombie now. In the past, you would always dread being a zombie, and I definitely remember back in Halo Reach that certain players would quit the game if they were infected. Infection and Halo Infinite, there is absolutely no need to do that, because if you're an alpha zombie, you get an active camouflage, which lets you get the jump on the humans. Some people think it's a little too OP for the alpha zombie to have, and that is a fair enough opinion. However, you can actually hear the alpha zombie as they get close to you. So if there is a zombie getting closer and closer to you, you should be able to pick up on it and try look around to find where they are. The alphas do also have the shroud screen, which I think is super effective in Infection. And can I just say, if you're the last man standing and a shroud screen gets placed around you, that is a horrifying experience, and I really do love that. And overall, that does make the mode even more horrifying, where certain moments like that can happen thanks to the equipment the zombies have. And this ties nicely into my next point about the experience when you're last man standing. The big question I've seen a lot of Halo fans ask is that, do you get the same feeling when you're last man standing as you would in, say, Halo 3 or Halo Reach? And I have to say yes. Because the zombies move so fast, they can swarm you very easily. And when you're backed up in a corner, shooting your bulldog, rocket launcher, cinder shot, whatever you have, you really do feel the adrenaline, and it really is a good but terrifying experience. So that's all of the good stuff with Halo Infinite's Infection mode. Now I'm going to discuss the bad things, or at least what I think 343 needs to change. First off, I want to talk about the score. So the scoring in Infection is quite interesting, but it's also extremely unfair to those who are zombies. For example, right now you only get 10 points if you get a kill as a zombie, but if you're a survivor, your score goes up every single second you're alive. So technically speaking, a player can just hide in the corner for the entire round and be first. I have seen a lot of people talk about this, and I do think 343 will change it, but that's one of the most important things that 343 needs to change, because as I said earlier in the video, it is fun to be a zombie in Halo Infinite's Infection, but to make it even better, zombies should be rewarded for the kills they get, and kills for a zombie should at least count for 20 or 30 points. Okay, next I'm talking about power equipment, so overshield and active camouflage. This might be a hot take, but I don't see the need for Infection having active camo or overshield. Right now, the overshield pickups are essentially useless. You really can't survive a sword strike if you've got overshield active. The window to survive the strike is just far too small with the overshield. Because of that, it's really just not effective to use. Active camo is pretty unbalanced. The active camo lasts for 30 seconds of the round, and on some maps it constantly respawns, so a player can just sit on one spot, camping the active camouflage, letting their score rise, and what's worse is if they become last man standing, the active camo will hide their location. Now, thankfully, I did ask 343 if this was supposed to happen, and Unisec got back to me and said, nope, that's not supposed to happen, we're looking into it. So the active camo glitch to hide as last man standing, that will be gone soon. The next one I've seen quite a few people talk about, and that is the speed of the zombies. The zombies in Halo Infinite's Infection are super fast. They can overwhelm you very quickly, especially if they slide into you. If 343 could reduce their speed just a tiny bit, I would be satisfied. I'm very curious to get your thoughts on this one though. Do you think the zombies move too fast, or are you happy with the speed they're at right now? Okay, so I like Iratus, and I really do like the way the infected Spartans look, but I don't think Iratus needs to talk every single time you die as a zombie, especially when you get 3 or 4 kills as a zombie and he still tells you you're doing a bad job. That is a small nitpick. Moving from that, I've got to talk about the Bulldog. Some games I feel unstoppable using it, and in some games it's like I'm shooting wet toilet paper. This is no doubt due to my terrible ping, which is usually over 200. Sometimes it's like 270, as you guys will see in the gameplay right now, and that can lead to really frustrating times where I feel like I should have killed a zombie, but but I don't or I trade. Technically speaking, that can all be boiled down to ping. But that's when I say the 343, there needs to be a goddamn server for Australia or Asian players. I think my fellow Aussies will understand my pain when I say that I want to just enjoy this mode on a good ping, but basically every single infection game I play is on a super high ping, and as you can imagine, it detracts from the experience. Overall, Halo Infinite's infection mode is honestly a blast to play. It is very addicting, and I think it's 343's best take on the classic infection mode. I'm going to give infection an 8.5 out of 10. I would love to see a more classic infection playlist get released down the line. That's a bit more similar to Alpha Zombies from Halo Reach, but as someone who has played infection since Halo 3 and spent most of my days in Halo Reach just grinding infection, I'm going to tell you guys that this is a really fun infection mode, and I think if you haven't played it, you need to go and do so and give it a go for yourself. If you guys are still watching this video, first off, massive thank you. And if you enjoy videos like this, please do drop me a sub. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's free, and I promise it's the best way you can support me. So with that said, I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one.